How's it going? Mike here, The Fresh Rinse. This is like episode 18, I think, of the 2023 complete pressure washing rig rebuild. And today we're going to focus on all the small stuff. There's about 6 things that we're going to look at today in a very short video. I'm really excited about tackling the AR-45 setup and all that goes with that. However, I had to put that to a standstill for just a day or two because we are actually hosting the Super Bowl here at my house this year. And I needed, well, we're not actually hosting the Super Bowl. Like, they aren't bringing the Super Bowl to the Fresh Rinse house. I would need like 5 times this space in order to actually host the actual Super Bowl. I can hear some of you right now, hey, I can't believe it, they're actually hosting the Super Bowl at Mike's house. No. I'm just saying I'm having a gathering of people, like 6 or 8 people are gonna come by, but I've got a lot going on, and I can't do that and all of this. Anyway, if we're gonna do a video on all the small stuff, don't go anywhere. All right, welcome back to the channel. Once again, my name's Mike. I really appreciate you watching. If you don't mind, take just a second, hit the like button, the subscribe button, hit the bell tab, never miss another video. I want to show you what we've got going on in today's video. Again, all the small stuff. These are items on the build list that simply do not take up enough space for a complete video. So I'm compiling all of these things into one video, and I think it's going to be pretty interesting. It's amazing how many little things that kind of develop as the process goes underway, and you just figure out these things along the way. And I actually have a list here that I've compiled of things we can check off as we go. And the first thing is the soft wash knobs and decals. I will put a link in the description where I got these decals for the actual dials. And if you use the code Mike, I think you get 5% off. So you'll definitely want to do that. And then notice that I actually put a screw. I pre-drilled a hole all the way through the handle and into the valve, and then inserted this screw. It's about 1 1/8 inches long, and these handles now are not coming off. In years past, I've had some kind of a box covering this to keep the handles from being lost. And I just didn't really like that look, and this seems to work much better. And of course, this little clip here hides the actual screw. So we'll check that off. Next, 30 amp gauges. I really appreciate all the advice I was given throughout this build series, in particular the education that I was given concerning these 100 amp breakers. Originally, I had 100 amp breakers here, and I just did not understand what that was. And some of you were kind enough to reach out in a gentle way and educate the Fresh, because in my mind, if others were using 30 amp gauges, why not just use 100? Like Tim the Toolman Taylor. Having been educated, I now understand that the 100 amp gauges would have never tripped. So if there was a load from the battery or vice versa, they wouldn't have tripped. And so they basically were nothing more than just an on and off switch. And so I purchased the 30 amp gauges, replaced the 100 amp gauges, have them all in place, and now we're good to go. Once again, let me say I really appreciate the education. So we can check that off and go to the 12 volt pimp wing nuts. What's that? Pump. That should say pump. In one of the earlier videos in this series, when I installed the 12 volt pump, I used regular bolts and screws to attach the pump to the back of this 18-inch hose reel. And some of you said, you know, you really need to make it easier to remove the pump if ever the pump fails and you need to replace it in the field. And so I removed the nuts and I installed wing nuts. And that's just going to make it so much easier to remove and replace the pump if this pump fails while in the field. So we'll check off 12 volt pimp wing nuts and move to the SH lines and drop sticks. In the 2 separate videos where I installed the downstream injector metering system and then the metering system for the soft wash setup. I had not yet had my SH tank installed, and so I just simply placed the lines across the 275 gallon tote. Now I have everything ready. In fact, these are my drop sticks, and what I do for a drop stick is I use a PVC pipe. As you see here, I glue a plastic cap on the end, and that allows that to just dangle down into the SH tank. This is the drop stick and hose for the soft wash setup, and this is the drop stick and hose for the downstream injector. So here you can see the hoses just beyond the end of the drop stick. I may cut those back just a little bit and then put a filter on the end of each of those before I begin washing. All right, that does it for SH lines and drop sticks. The next thing we have is the Carlton Caddy. I showed this in a previous video, but since then I've actually upgraded the Carlton Caddy, and I'm going to give a little bit of an explanation to this. In that video, I had not yet included these pieces of 4-inch PVC pipe. Interestingly, they are exactly 12 inches, and it works perfectly because I bought 2 pieces of 24-inch PVC pipe. So I just cut them in half and they work perfectly. And then I inserted a self-tapping screw, and that allowed me to remove that zip tie that I had around the top of the bottle that was keeping the bottle from going all the way down. And notice how that it snaps right into place. And if you pull up, you have to pull it just a little bit. So I feel really good about the bottles not falling out along the journey. Now, let me tell you what these are for real quickly. I prefer not to use a 1-gallon sprayer if at all possible. I find that I waste a lot of chemical and a lot of time mixing chemical when I use the 1-gallon or 2-gallon sprayers. And more often than not, I just don't need that much chemical. So in here I will have a degreaser. I use Red Raider that you get from Russ Johnson Southside Equipment. In this bottle I will have hydrofluoric acid, i.e. aluminum brightener. In this bottle I will have muriatic acid, and in this bottle I will have a neutralizer. Water, or you can, there are a number of neutralizers out there that are over the counter. You can just buy them generic straight from the grocery store. I will spray that rust stain or what have you with a degreaser and the different acids. Then I will come back, remove the handle, and put it into the neutralizer, spray it a few times, put it back down to the bottle, and we're good to go. These should last a long time. Now we can check off the Carlton Caddy, and the last thing on our list are fuel lines. I really appreciate Fragola Performance Systems out of Connecticut. They actually saw the short video that I made explaining my need for a 3/4 inch fitting setup for my fuel lines. They contacted me and got me all set up, sent everything out in the mail, and I had it in about 2 days. I will leave a link in the description where that you can get in touch with Fragola Performance Systems. They're a speed shop out of Connecticut. I really like this setup. This is exactly what I was wanting, and to be honest with you, I really didn't know what it was that I was looking for. They watched my video. Again, they contacted me. They knew exactly what I needed and got me set up. I'm super excited about that. Let's kind of trace this out. I have both lines fished under the machines, and of course, this one feeds the 10-gallon a minute machine, and then it continues under this pressure line along the rail, super nice and clean, under the 8-gallon a minute machine, and then up to the fuel filter. I still need to put clamps on there, but I'm really excited about getting this going. I'm so excited about firing this bad boy up, I can't stand it. I have 1,965 hours on this. Runs like a top fuel dragster. In fact, real quickly, in an upcoming video, I'm going to be showing you how to restore this 8-gallon a minute machine. We're going to clean it up, get a new muffler, shine it up. It's gonna look like a brand new one. I'm real excited about that. All right, that does it for episode 18. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button, the subscribe button, hit the bell tab, never miss another video. And leave a comment, make suggestions, offer some advice. I take all of that very seriously. I really appreciate you. And in our next video, I think we'll be building the AR-45. That's the whole idea. So stay tuned, don't go anywhere. Look forward to seeing you the next time. My name's Mike, the Fresh Rinse, and I'm out.